is awfully loud for an empty bar. We might need to turn it down. If there's nobody here, you might want to turn it down. Ask them to turn it down. Yeah. What is up, everybody, and welcome into the Losers Lounge.
Wah,
wah. What a disappointing one, man. Nuggets fall in ugly fashion to the Lakers. Really ugly game, 93-89. Good news, if you watched Saturday's show, you knew the lock, the pick of the week, was to take the under. The under was actually even lower than I anticipated because we thought LeBron would play. And it still hit because this was one of the ugliest games in NBA history.
It was brutal, man. What a terrible game. I feel awful. I don't really want to be here.
Gross.
I feel like maybe taking a shower or something.
Yeah, man. I mean, this was one that even had the Nuggets pulled this out and won would have felt weird. Yeah. It would have been like, are we excited about this? I don't know, but you take a win. Nuggets could win, but they dropped. There's a lot to get to, but fortunately, I'm with my homies. I got Harrison Wind over here.
I feel gross. I just want to go take a shower. I don't even know what to say. It was such a weird game. It was an ugly game, and yeah, you got the jolt of energy at the very end. And you're like, wow, this would be an incredible MVP moment. I feel like for Nikola Jokic if they were able to pull it out, but there were a couple plays which I'm sure we'll talk about that prevented that from happening. There's
going to be a lot to talk about. I got D-Line over here. Very, very sour mood D-Line is.
I'm in a sour mood, guys. I'm not really feeling it. I might walk off this show. Is that cool?
It would be understandable. I got Superstar Dev, who wasn't even around tonight for the game, so I'm curious to see, are you also feeling sour?
It just was not a fun night.
It was not a fun night.
But also, Monday. Even with it not being a fun, there was not a lot that I feel like you could take away things from the game, but that's not the Nuggets. That's not even the Lakers. That was just a game.
Well,
it was just a game.
It's interesting you say that because I'm not so sure, and we're going to have to maybe debate this a little bit later on. The Lakers, very good defensive team. Denver, people don't know this. This is why I picked the under. Denver has evolved into a defensive team because Lord knows there's going to be nights like this offensively, given the guys who are healthy. Less healthy now than they were 2 hours ago, sadly. But, so I thought it was going to be a defensive grinder, and that's what it turned out to be. But Denver was especially, I think, ugly in this game offensively. What stood out to you the most?
Yeah, I mean, besides what happened late, the story for me tonight was Michael Porter Jr.'s game.
Yeah.
And in the first half, he goes 1 of 4 from the field for 3 points, 0 rebounds. It seemed to me like the Lakers were just really focusing on him. Whenever he was coming around those Jokic DHOs, there were 2 guys on him. They were pressed up into him on the perimeter. And we were talking about it. That's got to be the formula against the Nuggets, and I feel like we'll see good defenses enact. And the Lakers are the best defense in the NBA this year.
Avs, good news. Avs just completed an insane comeback.
As the Avs march on to the Stanley Cup.
Absolutely insane comeback. They were as bad as the Nuggets tonight. Can't believe we almost had 2 great comebacks. I would have felt good. You know what? This reminds me. I would have felt good.
I know.
Damn it, Nuggets.
But MPJ's night, it seemed like the Lakers took him out of the game a little in the first half. 0 rebounds. He just wasn't in the game. He wasn't locked in. I think he had a pretty ridiculous second half after that. He finished with 19 points.
They came in bunches, it felt like.
Yeah, a big fourth quarter. So I feel like that is got to be what we see from good defenses going forward against this team. You focus it on MPJ. You try to take him out of the game. You live with other guys hurting you. Jokic is going to get his. But, other than that, what do the Nuggets have? They don't have many options.
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of times during the last couple seasons where it was Jokic's good almost every single night, but the team would go as Murray goes. When he was bad, it was almost like, man, the Nuggets probably aren't going to win if Murray's just not there. If he was medium, okay, they're probably going to win. If he was great, it was great. Michael Porter now steps into that role. When he's not making shots, you look around and you go, well, who are we expecting to step up in his place? Gordon, Dozier, Campazzo, none of those guys.
Gordon Glasner
stepping up?
Stepping up, hitting us with a super chat.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Only the real ones super chat on a loss.
Yeah, we've got a couple. We have a couple super chats.
Has he replaced Byron? He might have replaced, but we haven't seen Byron in so long.
Calling you out, Byron.
It's going to be...
Oh, man, you're not letting me know this. I didn't even know. My apologies,
it's
Byron.
Be, Byron comes back and Jamal Murray before him. Is it still Byron's
chat? Is it still Byron's team? We don't know. But I've been waiting for a team to sort of key in on this because I don't think you can stop Jokic. As evidence tonight. They put a lot of effort into stopping him. He still had a good, not great night, but a good night. But I do think you can stop Porter where he's at in his development. He still has, obviously holes in his game. And tonight, being physical with him, putting so much attention, and just having body. They have a lot of good defense. There's a reason that the Lakers are so good defensively. And I think that's the blueprint for beating this version of the Nuggets team. Like, if Jokic goes off, even if Campazzo, all those guys go off, if you can stop or limit MPJ, then you're probably going to force Denver to 83 points or whatever it is they had tonight. What do you think about this, Dev?
I think that really is more so about with every other team, even when the second unit and the other guys don't step up, you still have the two best players in the league, or not in the league, but just in a game, in Michael Porter Jr. and Jokic. Tonight, no one else stepped up, and Anthony Davis had a really big game. And that's when you start to realize that those other guys are going to have to score. Like, at some point, they're going to have to score. Yes, the defense is going to win you, like, a lot of those games, but against a team like the Lakers who are wanting to play that type of game, it played right into the way that they play. And then the physicality, of course, with how they guarded Michael Porter Jr. just really opened them up. So I think a lot of what the Nuggets are played to the strengths of the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus PJ Dozier goes down. Like MPJ was invisible in the first half, sadly. He was getting locked up by Kuzma, which is the worst thing I've ever said in my entire life. PJ Dozier goes down. Jokic still scores 30 points, but he didn't have the best night himself. I mean
32 points, but it took 28 shots.
Yeah, he was a little off by his standards, and it's hard to fault him. I mean, he was really trying to step up in place of literally any other Nugget. He just couldn't get anyone to come along with him. Like, there were guys that had like good little stints, but people were just missing layups, and I don't know, man. Rough night.
Yeah.
Man.
He did get 32 points, but yeah, that's 28 shots, man. You make him work for him. And I thought he missed just so many uncharacteristic shots. And I think here's the thing on Jokic. And I think he does a better job of this in the playoffs than he is in the regular season. But the word is really just get physical with him, because he's a finesse player. We know this. It's hard for him to draw shooting fouls. And if you're established referees, this is how it is across all sports. This is not a complaint. If you start the game physical, either refs are going to call it right away and all of a sudden it's going to be a really whistle-heavy game, or they're going to be like, oh, okay, this is where we are. We're playing this level of physicality and we're going to allow it. And I just think that's what you do. If you're the Lakers, that's what you do. You get physical with them, hope the referees are going to allow it. And tonight they allowed a physical game. I thought a fair game, but a physical game. And then he's going to have to work extra hard for that. And if the kick-out shots aren't there, if Denver's only shooting 25% from three as they did tonight, you're going to have an ugly offense.
Yeah, and then you get physical with them, and then in the fourth quarter, in a clutch moment, game on the line, Marc Gasol is really physical with him in the post, two-handed shove in the back. That looked like a foul to me on the floor.
See, a lot of people are going to complain about the Facu play, and we're going to talk about him. That one to me was the one where I was like, man, I mean, it's just what is he supposed to do in that moment? He got knocked to the ground, and there was and he had to kick it out.
Yeah, it's a foul, but Jokic was very engaged with the officials tonight from the jump. It felt like very engaged.
Hey, that's a win for the Lakers, though.
Yeah.
And look, I don't mind it now because there is this difference between. But that's a thing, and I'm pretty confident that come the playoffs, he's not going to be like this. But you're right; he's talking to the referees. That means the defense is doing their job, in my opinion.
There were like
critique of Jokic.
5 or 6 plays tonight where it felt like somebody, his own teammate, a lot of times, like jumped into him, or prevented him from getting a rebound. It was a weird night at times, and then he had a great close, but weird night.
That brings me to my point. Like, is it something about the Lakers that gets into Jokic's head where he's starting to like get into the reps? Like, he's not playing his normal game because he feels like he's going against the Lakers as well as the refs, because that was something that he did in the playoffs as well. It's like he knows they're going to be physical with him, but also he can't be physical back because he get the foul calls or he's not getting the foul calls like on offense. So is there something about when he plays the Lakers, does he prepare for that like aspect of the game?
I think it's just the size. I mean, Anthony Davis has the size physically. We saw him grab that big rebound. That was one of the biggest plays of the game over Jokic. Yeah. They have big bodies. Andre Drummond's obviously one of the biggest dudes in the league. Marc Gasol's a big body. They just have, I think, the horses to do it. Last year it was obviously Dwight Howard, who came in the game just to do exactly what he did, which is goon it up.
Yep.
So I think it's more that than anything. But maybe it is. Maybe he does have a thing personally against Lakers. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so.
I've known you for so long, and I know this feeling. I know this
It's just so tough because, I hate that we have to look at and have to sort of dissect Jokic's performance because, really, I mean, Jokic did everything that should have been required to get a victory.
Yeah.
Say for example,
it's not fair for sure. I mean,
I know. I'm just saying, say for
standard.
example, I don't know, Anthony Davis wasn't hit with a 12-gauge shotgun that was Facu Campazzo fouled in such a disgusting fashion to just wipe that 3-point shot off the board that MPJ cashed.
I know it sucks that he actually hit it and it had no effect on the play.
Right. This game, this ended up being a 4-point game.
First of all, great flop by AD, but it was a foul. Like in my opinion, there is an angle of it. Facu clearly was trying to make just a little contact with him. AD sold the contact by going all the way to the ground, but it is a foul. That's what you're supposed to do. And Michael Porter hit it. And it just sucks because it 100% did not affect the play. It was but it did affect whether or not the point counted. Aaron Gordon tonight was interesting because I actually thought his defense was phenomenal on Anthony Davis. And you look at the plus minus, he was a team high +8. The best by a pretty comfortable margin. He had 4 block shots and assists, 6 rebounds. This is 2 games in a row where I felt like he played very good defense against whoever it was he was crowding. It's funny because Anthony Davis has not been good since he came back from injury, and this was easily his best night. But I feel like that wasn't necessarily against Aaron Gordon. That was Gordon did a great job. A great player made some really big plays.
For sure. By the way, you've lost the chat.
That's fine.
This
is why I don't read the chat.
You saying that was a foul, you lost the chat 100%. No one agrees with you.
Well, look, this is what Facu does. He plays all of the margins, and that is a play that, it sucks to get called, but you have a high-profile superstar selling the contact
and he didn't
perfectly.
Need to do it also.
And he just didn't need to do it. So, I mean, I'm sorry. He'll get called for that a lot. That's the point is if he does that again, he'll get called for it as well.
Yeah. No, I thought Gordon was great defensively. And you made the point he did it against the Clippers too. Like that's back-to-back opponents.
I needed to see that, to be honest. And
I feel
satisfied.
Yeah. I mean, they brought him here to defend Kawhi Leonard. They brought him here to defend Anthony Davis at times. So that was very notable. I mean, that was a huge takeaway from tonight. Offensively, I just have always gotten the feeling, especially since Jamal Murray went down, that the Nuggets want more from Aaron Gordon. But it's tough because he's just not that offensive player.
Can't shoot.
And it's funny. He hit the first basket of the game tonight.
That's right.
That post up fadeaway, which
made some money for Eric.
I don't know how it went in.
Hell yeah, it did.
He went 1 of 6 from the field after that, and he is at his best. He can really get going when the Nuggets offense is really in a rhythm, and it just wasn't tonight. And he's not able to get going if it's not. So not surprised that the Nuggets put up 89 points and he struggled.
Yeah.
Like I'm not surprised that that's how the game flowed.
I know that there's some people that's upset, not upset, but just wondering why we're high on Aaron Gordon. And I think it's more so the fact that he's brought in for defense. He was not brought in to the Nuggets to be this offensive guy or to be in a role where he has to do it on both ways. He's doing what he came in to do, what he was brought in to do, and that's defend at a high level, which he is doing. Would you like him to score more points? Yes. Everybody would. But that's not his job. That's not what he is. And if he steps out of what he is, then he becomes hated even more. He's not in here to do his job. So he's doing his job, and it's on he does need to step up offensively, but it's on other guys to fill their spots and do their job with him. He has 4 blocks tonight.
And one of those is on Anthony Davis, which is hard to do.
Yeah, very
blocking
rare.
Anthony Davis jump shot.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Just doesn't happen.
Yeah, he was brought in to do a job, but then the job changed. He was supposed to be the 4th banana to Jokic, Murray, MPJ. He was supposed to be that defensive anchor to help out those 3 scorers. And yes, now that he's in a position where we want him to score, that guy cannot shoot 3-pointers. He can't shoot. He can shoot. He can make shots when he has that little turnaround that he does in the key. That seems to go in 100% of the time, and nothing else goes.
But he was great defensively down the stretch. I mean, the Nuggets held the Lakers to 4 points over the last 4.5 minutes of this game.
Yeah,
he was great down the stretch.
And it's funny he only played 25. I mean, some of this was because of foul trouble, and that's going to always be a tough thing against Anthony Davis in particular is he draws a lot of fouls. He's a really good player, and Aaron Gordon is giving up a lot of inches to have to guard him, especially when you talk about just reach, because Anthony Davis has those long arms. So it's going to be hard for Aaron Gordon in a potential playoff series, which becomes much more likely now after this loss, sadly. But it's going to be more difficult for him to stay out of foul trouble. But when he was out of foul trouble, the Nuggets were doing very good. I thought maybe I'll win the chat back here. Keep you updated.
Ready, chat?
I thought Campazzo was great tonight. That one foul aside, but I thought he was great and was one of the main reasons why. Yeah. Am I back?
You're back.
Are we friends again, or am I out? But just defensively, I mean, look, it is a testament to him how much everybody hates him.
It's wild. It's crazy, man. Like, I remember we watched him play. Was it the first preseason game he ever played? And we were thinking, is this guy going to be able to do this for the entire regular season? He has.
Yeah.
It's exactly what he's done. It's awesome. I love watching the guy. 5 steals tonight. Like, he's just everywhere, man. I have so much respect for him. I really do.
Yeah, when it came up on screen that he had 5 steals and that was his career high, like that, the 5 steals was not surprising. The career high was a surprise. Like,
Yeah.
I swear to God, he had 5
them,
steals
I know.
every game he plays.
And not only is it 5 steals, he just makes so many disruptive plays where the whole defense gets like taken off. He's like, it looks like he's playing dirty at times just because he alters the entire game.
Sucio.
Just everywhere.
He's going under people. He's grabbing every single like bounce pass that comes. You can't even bounce pass against him like at all.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's the low gravity, but he's everywhere on the court at all times. And then he also just steps up when you need him to. Like he really is just like a calming force that just knocks down shots. He did that right to left hand finish. That was. It was sexy.
Oh, that was sexy.
And
That
we
was
needed
very
that at
sexy.
the time too.
Yeah, like he just knows like what to do and what he needs to bring. So that's great to have.
You know that 3-point shot would have gone in too had Anthony Davis
Had not blocked it.
You know that it
Probably,
was like,
He
yeah.
had hit a big 3 a couple minutes before.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he's nails down the
Yeah.
stretch. So he's nails.
He
Like,
has nails.
AJ came on and said that clutch is not a thing, but I don't know, man. When it comes to Facu, like a clutch is a thing.
He's not scared of the moment, and he's not intimidated by whoever he's playing. He could care less about who he's playing.
Yeah, and he held up in this game. I mean, you know, the Lakers are like the Nuggets right now, missing key players, but also just missing the scoring parts of their key players. Yep. And so they're just like Denver. They have their defensive players. That's why they've still great defensively, but they need guys to make shots, and they made one more than Denver tonight. All right, Kale, you say we have a lot of super chats. Let's get to them before we hit our first break.
Jordan, do I really need a super chat to get salty referee take out there? We did enough to put away this one possession, now it's taken away.
Are you mic'd up? Can they hear you?
Yeah, can they hear you?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
so we got to read this.
We're quiet and you're going in the background. Not helpful.
All right, go for it, Eric.
Let's see. Do I need to super chat to get the salty referee take out of there? Oh, here we see. We did enough to put this one within one possession. It was taken away. You're right, Jordan.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
right.
then again, I mean, the Nuggets didn't get that rebound on that Taylor Horton-Tucker reverse layup that missed, and then an even wilder reverse layup that one in.
I don't even know if you can call that a layup that missed. Like, what was that?
360 spinner.
Oh my God, he
The
did
most
spin that. That was the most disgusting.
Yeah.
It just sucked that got rewarded. That it hit just enough of the backboard that he could like walk over there and get. It's just like, come on, man. I mean, that's how the game was, though. I mean, and if you really want to get into it, we're going to talk about Austin Rivers in a little bit. But great defense on that possession, then just stops.
Yep.
And if you watch it, I think Chris Herring posted the clip on Twitter. If you watch it, he just kind of stands there and watches. Taylor Horton-Tucker keeps playing, and that was the difference in the game. It's kind of frustrating. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself for that one.
Yeah.
But by the way, the salty referee thing. Look, guys, there are bad calls in every game. Tonight, I thought there were some calls that frustrated me, but there were also calls that went Denver's way that I was like, got lucky on that one.
Yep.
So to me, I just don't think there's any point in blaming the referees on this one. What else we got?
Lots more.
Without LeBron, if you swap, I'm having a hard time seeing this
If
one.
you
actually.
swap teams Jokic and AD, who's better?
Can you hook
Lakers
up your
would
mic,
be the
Kale?
ideal defensive juggernaut around Jokic. Good thought experiment. So if you swapped Jokic and AD, he's asking who's better, Nuggets or Lakers?
I mean, I think that AD is more suited for LeBron. Is that what he's asking, or is he saying without LeBron?
I think with LeBron, with the current teams intact.
AD is more tailor-made for LeBron. I mean, Jokic does a lot of what LeBron does in terms of setting the table and running the team and this or that. So to give him, I mean, look, they would also be awesome, LeBron and Jokic, but I think AD is more of the guy that fits with the
Nuggets
Lakers.
would not be nearly as good with
But
AD.
that's not less about the value of the player and more about the fit of the player, in my opinion. What else? Should we hit a break and then on the other side? That way we get set up, Kale?
Sure.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll get to these super chats on the other side. We also have to talk about PJ Dozier going down tonight. We have to talk about Shaq Harrison, Austin Rivers, and JaVale McGee ring night, and he gets a lot of minutes. Was that the right call? I don't know. We complain
What a
when he doesn't
tease.
play. Then he plays.
What a tease.
And then we complain.
All right,
guys, check out the Mile High City Copper Lager from Breck Brew. It's a great beer to sip on during games. You can't miss it. It's got that Nuggets Skyline blue can, the Nuggets logo on it. You can pick it up at the Breck Brew Farmhouse. If you've never checked out the Breck Brew Farmhouse, awesome spot. Great food, great beers, of course. It's huge also. It's like a whole freaking compound.
It's also gorgeous. It's a really cool place.
Really cool place. So check out the Mile High City Copper Lager. You can also get it from your local liquor store as well. Also at StravaCraftCoffee.com, you guys can save 25% off your first purchase when you use the code DNVR25. The code DNVR25, save 25% off your first purchase at StravaCraftCoffee.com. StravaCraft Coffee packed with CBD, which has been known to help cure long-term migraines, back pain, arthritis, tons of other aches and pains that you might have. It's how I start off every morning. Just a warm cup of StravaCraft coffee.
And look at Harrison.
And look at me now.
No stronger.
30 and thriving, some would say.
No stronger endorsement than just the image of Harrison.
Use the code DNVR25. Save 25% off your first purchase at StravaCraftCoffee.com.
All right, so we'll get to PJ Dozier now. Oh, actually, no, we got the super chats. You gonna read them to us now, Kel?
I'm going to try my best. Can anyone hear me? Can the chat hear me? Can someone let me know?
I think I see your levels going.
Well, you could bring up the other one. We could read it while we wait for the chat to respond to you. They're always 20, 30 seconds behind us.
All right, here's one.
Okay. It says, I would rather
Have lost to any other team than the Lakers.
than Lakers. So
Laker
annoying.
fans are so-
All my mentions like the Western Finals Conference.
Did you guys see on Twitter what Anthony Davis was yelling after this game?
We're back, yeah.
We're back.
Yeah.
Dude.
Interesting.
Well, honestly, here's the worst part about it. Honestly, is this could be an emotional springboard for the Lakers. I mean, they were in hell coming into this game. You know, they were struggling. So that's maybe my fear of this one. I don't know if that's true because I don't know that I'm buying it. But
God, is there anything good that came out of tonight? Like, every one of these topics makes you want to goddamn throw
I
up.
saw Matt Moore on Twitter dunking on Campazzo. So that good. Oh wait,
cool.
that's not good. That's bad, yeah.
If you want something good, I actually think it's that MPJ was taken out of this game in the first half and rebounded with a pretty good second half.
That's great.
True.
Yep.
The other positive is that the Clippers win was way more important than this game anyway.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, what's funny is that we don't know. Like, we'll find out. Like, Denver being the 3, the 4, we don't know what's best. I do think, look, we'll talk about it in a little bit, maybe the matchup. But I agree with you. Like, look, the Lakers are honestly the antithesis of the Nuggets in every conceivable way. The only way they're not the same is that all of the Lakers fans keep moving to Denver because they hate their city. So that's the only difference is that like 25,000, 50,000 Californians keep moving here every single month. All right, how are we doing there, Kale?
I have a mic now. They can hear me.
All right, let's hear it. What's the next one?
All right. Love y'all. Denver didn't execute until late. LA had some pretty controversial calls go their way. LeBron be damned. They're beatable, but cooler heads need to prevail. Hope PJ is okay. Go Nugs.
Like it. There's some positivity for you.
Yeah.
Look, Denver did battle.
Well
I mean, the one defining trait of this Nuggets team, like the people that haven't been watching them, they haven't been winning pretty anyway. Like they've all been ugly. They almost got another ugly win, but that's because they are a tough team mentally and, you know, they keep fighting, and they honestly they were down 16-17 or something, and I was like, it's over, and they came back and gave me hope. So
yeah, they're nothing if not resilient. I mean, that's they go down 3-1, they win.
Very easy team to root for.
I mean, this is just the hallmark of this team is that when their backs are against the wall, they come out swinging. This got brought up a few shows ago, but like when they needed to win almost every game going down the stretch to make the playoffs years ago, they did that. They got themselves. They just always answer the bell. It's just whether or not they dig too deep of a hole early on, which, in this one they kind of. I mean, they came out a little sluggish, stayed in touch, got a lead, and then just kind of like fell apart, man. In let me guess, the third?
No, second actually.
No.
You were close though. All right, what else?
From Ray.
The homie.
Do you think this presents an opportunity for Zeke Bull or Vladko to get an opportunity at minutes, given they have some potential as floor spacers?
All right, so
Absolutely not.
we have to talk. Well,
Let's talk about it.
Well, we have to talk about PJ Dozier going down because he went down now, and I mean, who knows if it's a major injury? They listed him as questionable. Makes me think maybe it's not as bad, but maybe he misses a game or 2 or 3. I don't know. Here's what I will say: Denver might have to cut Marcus Howard. Because there's no way they are going into a game where he has to play 20 minutes. In my opinion, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean to Marcus Howard, but I can't envision a scenario in which they say, "All right, next man up at this one." Like you already have Dozier, or I mean, you already have Facu. I don't see Marcus Howard. You might have to cut him and sign somebody else.
Yeah, but maybe this pushes Monte Morris to come back sooner. Than
That's
they
also
have
bad.
to.
I hope not.
Yeah, well, I mean, which is not bad, but it's not good. But at the same time, Monte has said he's ready. Like he's hinted at being ready. Maybe they were just being cautious because they were winning games. But now if he's forced to be in that spot, he's like, okay, I can play. Like, I'm ready to play. This is my opportunity. So hopefully it comes to that situation rather than Marcus Howard having to play or them having to cut Marcus Howard to get somebody that still is not going to fill any voids.
What's funny is if you pull on this thread, let's say Monte comes back. I guess he just comes off the bench. But because I don't think you start Facu and Monte. You can't go. Those two guys just can't share the court, I don't think. They're probably too small.
Yeah.
So that means you have to create duos. Which one gets Shaq Harrison? Which one gets Austin Rivers? It's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's not exactly a natural fit.
I'd say you'd have to go Monte and Shaq.
See, I think it's the other way. I think
I
you
would
probably
put Rivers.
I think you keep starting Facu and just for until Monte gets fully back, and then that means you need to put probably Shaq next to Facu.
I was just thinking about pairing the best shooter out of those 4 with the worst shooter. That's what I was thinking about.
So the original Super Chat asked specifically about Zeke Bull and Vladko. Do you guys see a path for any of those guys?
Maybe because I don't know if Denver can sign and clear a guy between now and Wednesday, and so that means you're going to have to move everybody up. If assuming again Dozier can't go, then you might have to play him. Yeah.
Losing Dozier would be crushing. I know all these injuries have been crushing, but now I mean PJ Dozier's playing an enormous role for this
is so
team,
dumb.
man.
People are. It did suck hearing the announcing crew tonight keep talking about the Lakers and all the injuries they've had to endure. You're like, guys, literally have a 10-day and a 2-way.
We pulled
playing
Shaq
real
Harrison
minutes.
off the street, and he's like,
and they're gonna have to go get
legit.
another one.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to go out and find another guy. Playing in Europe right now or playing in some pro-am.
God, who are they going to find? I want to hear some suggestions.
Jamal
in the
Crawford.
chat.
I kept thinking it's going to be Jamal Crawford.
Well, who else were we talking about? Gerald Green?
Oh, yeah,
Gerald
Gerald
Green.
Green's out there. Gerald Green's out there.
Yeah. So I don't know. But anyway, to answer your question, absolutely. Why not throw one of those guys out? Who would it be? Probably going to be Vladko because Malone, I think,
would say it's not going to be
What?
Bull.
Dude.
I'd say he'd be last on that
yeah,
power ranking.
Zeke might move up and play some 3.
It is hilarious. You have players in your team that, like, even when everyone gets hurt, you're like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, we got to get some new people.
I'd probably say Vladko, but I would probably go Zeke.
A lot of people saying
I'm a
Jeremy
Zeke
Lin.
guy.
Jeremy Lamb. Or Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy
Yeah,
Lin.
Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin.
Yeah. Maybe.
Hey, whatever.
Guys,
We're ready
whatever
for
the
some
answer is,
Dude,
like we're so late in the
We're in
season,
the middle
man.
of
Like,
insanity. Let's make it Linsanity.
yeah, you never know. All right, what else we got?
Lots more.
Oh God. Okay.
Sorry.
People are in the super chat tonight. I'm with
Yeah.
it, man. I'm with it.
You guys are the best.
This one says, we share your sadness in Argentina too. Nuggets International Nation. Love you guys.
We love you, Argentina.
Take
We love you,
Costa.
man. Buenos Aires.
Oh my god.
Some
Sorry,
Milanesa. We
These
need
got
some
put out of
Milanesa.
order. Oh my, I'm losing my mind.
Sharing all of my
That's where you
knowledge
really,
of Bariloche,
make your
the
money
big
go.
lake. You guys know the big lake, the big town lake. You guys know. You guys, I don't have to tell you about
I thought that
Bariloche.
meant milk in Spanish.
All right, this
Late
Leche,
chat.
leche.
Late chat.
See, it was close.
This one's from Trent M. Is Anthony Davis part baby giraffe? With how often he inexplicably falls down, he has to be at least 30% baby giraffe.
100% baby giraffe. Not part baby giraffe.
I mean, honestly, if I'm stepping outside of my all-encompassing hatred hatred of the Lakers for a moment and saying, I don't want to see a guy get hurt. And I hate the fact that his Achilles is tight and he goes to the side and massages it and wants to come in. Because I don't want to see this, man. I don't want to see a guy
feel
get
like
hurt.
he's on the verge of
I do too, and I don't want to
big
say
injury.
it because I don't want
That's
people to
what
think I'm
it
a
seemed
hater.
like tonight. Like I was nervous for him tonight.
I was nervous for him too. Anyway, they teach you when you're big and you have injuries, they teach you to fall. If you ever watch Joel Embiid, he falls more than anybody else, but it's because he's actually practiced falling because you want to take you take the damage off your knees.
I felt like Yoke was on the ground tonight way more than usual. He had
It's a physical game.
three
man.
or four plays where he falls over. He never falls over.
Yeah,
It was
physical.
it was jarring a little.
All
All
right,
right,
let's keep it
2
rolling.
more to hit.
Okay.
Sorry if this isn't Mr. Positive Vibes, but I'm convinced
okay.
the Nuggets will never be allowed to get past the Lakers. Please talk me out of it.
Well, Jesus, when he prefaced it with like, this might be a downer. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And then he just went to the most downer of all.
We can't talk you out of it.
Oh, man.
It really seems that way
We're
to
Nuggets
us,
against
too.
the Lakers in the playoffs. 0-8 all time, I think it is.
I'm telling you,
0-7.
maybe you have to resign yourself to the fact that the battle is always going to be the 300, to quote that famous movie. You guys remember that? There was 300 on one side and there were millions on the other. I don't know.
I snuck
Maybe.
into that movie when I was like 16.
I don't know what the actual story is. There could have been
The
hundreds of
famous
thousands.
movie that Adam knows no details.
Well, I know it's called the 300. Anyway,
And
you
it's
have
actually
to-
called 3. I
It's
don't
just
think there's a
called 300.
D.
I love
300.
that movie too.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Anyway, if
This
you're
is Sparta.
when you sign up to be a Nuggets fan, like that's what you're signing up for is the like
the-
insane odds. Like, no, look. First of all, f that.
It's Sparta 1.
That's right.
Right.
But and that's why I'm saying F that, because I don't buy that. Is it true that the Lakers are gifted every advantage? J.A. Donda even put this out. Like, what a disaster. It would
Dude,
be
that-
what a crime it would be if the Lakers
The
were
horror.
to
That tweet made me so angry.
Donde's one of a
Just to
good one
read
too,
that.
man.
Like, what are you talking about?
I know. Well, he said that's what I said in the pregame show. He said the quiet part out loud that this league is
if we don't have
designed.
we don't have the Celtics or the Lakers, it means the playoff system is
Yeah,
flawed.
it means something wrong would happen. So
Disgusting.
to become a fan of the Nuggets means to accept the absurdity of it, and that's what you have to do. But guess what? We got a guy that has we have a guy in Jokic who's beaten every single ceiling. He has crashed right through it. So maybe he'll crash through that one.
Speaking of which, we've got a super chat coming in saying, Soup's chat, these shows always lift the spirits. Y'all are the best.
Hey man, that's what we're here for. This is the
appreciate it.
therapy. That's our homie. This is the therapy
We're
session,
helping
man.
each other because, by the way, I've never been worse than I am right now.
Man, you're down.
JaVale
Down bad.
JaVale McGee got a ring tonight. It was a Lakers ring. And my theory was that's the only reason he played tonight is it's like, I'm not going to make you not play on ring night. What do you think, Dev?
I say yes and no. I think that Malone understands, and like any coach, I think they understand that there's going to be more energy and more effort when you're playing against your old team. And I feel like he did bring that energy. Would I had gone with him, I would have gave Millsap a try, also because if you're going off of physicality and you're trying to match them, there's a guy that you have on your team that's also an enforcer. Maybe you play them alongside each other where you have energy and two guys that are like that big. I think McGee had like a pretty like good game. It didn't match what was out there.
Such a knucklehead.
I don't think it matched what was happening, but I think that giving him a chance on this night was pretty big or pretty good for him.
I don't know. I feel like a reason JaVale McGee was brought here was to play against the Lakers.
Yeah,
I
it could
think so,
be.
too.
And their
Yeah.
size and their length. So
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised that he played tonight. I had always had him penciled in for rotation minutes in a potential playoff series against the Lakers. And Michael Malone said before the game, they were preparing for LeBron James to play. They were preparing for Dennis Schroeder to play. So I think this is what Denver wanted to throw out with its front line. That's just me. I don't know.
I think that you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Like, that's the whole thing is that the Lakers are a big team. So you have to bring in big bodies to counter, at least like to match up against them. JaVale McGee is so hilarious. Like,
Yeah, he had a weird game,
dude,
though, man.
he played. He had the most exhilarating moments, and then the most just.
He had a lot of
confounding is,
energy,
like, not even the right
as
word.
Dev said.
Yeah, he's like picking the ball up and kicking it at the exact same time, like doing the like
that was a bad
doing
play.
things. You're like,
Facu generated a like 99% steal, and he like goes over and kicks it out of bounds. You're like, come on, man. Facu just did he really did everything he could to generate this opportunity, and JaVale just goes, boom.
so
Oops.
brutal.
He, in the second quarter, I think, led the Nuggets in scoring with 8 points.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
the third leading scorer tonight with 10.
He also was the third leading shot taker, which just kind of tells you how bad the offense was
Yeah,
tonight,
man.
how clunky it was.
Yeah.
Austin Rivers tonight is an interesting one because he played 33 minutes and took just 3 shots. He made just one of them, 0 for 2 from 3. He continues to just look like a guy that's not going to – I mean, my hope for Austin Rivers as a shooter now is that he continues to miss shots until the playoffs, and then he just like has games where everyone's like, are you effing kidding me?
Yeah, man. Like Austin Rivers, I was 100% out on. Then I heard the interview he gave, 100% in.
Yeah.
But then he was talking about how he hadn't been playing for 2 months. So I was like, all right, like I'm going to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. Honestly, I mean, he obviously has just been not making any shots since he's signed up for the Nuggets or put the Nuggets uniform on. I have to think. I mean, I've witnessed him make shots before on the other team, so I think it's possible. Like I have to assume it is, but it's not looking great at the moment. He does other things that are not that you can cite his defense. You can cite the fact that he runs the floor from time to time and is that floor general. But my God, it'd be nice if he could make a goddamn basket.
One of the things that we talked about with Aaron Gordon was him coming in to do what they brought him in to do. I feel like Austin Rivers does not do the thing that they brought him in here to do. Like, they need scoring. They need a person that can score the basketball. He's not even shooting the basketball. Like, he's not even doing the things that they need him and want him to do. And then especially with him leading a second unit that doesn't really have much other scoring, like, going for them. It's no surprise that the second unit can't score. They don't have a scorer, and he's supposed to be that guy for them. He gets an opportunity. You got to take shots, even if you're missing them. Like, you got to be aggressive. You got to put yourself in positions to score. And he's, like, not using his God-given abilities of speed and just getting to his spots or just making a shot because he's not deciding to shoot the ball. So it's awkward.
God seems to have taken those abilities back.
Yeah, he touched the Space Jam ball.
But on Rivers, to Dev's point, I think you made a good point there. Like, he came in here, he tried to fit in, tried to pass up good shots for better shots, tried to play in the system, and now it almost seems like he's lost some confidence in that jumper. And he's at the point right now, he's going to be on the team for the rest of the season. He doesn't have to impress and fit in on a 10-day contract. He's got to start expanding his game and giving Denver some offense. But now I wonder, because he just hasn't been able to hit from 3, if he's losing a little bit of confidence there, because he's still passing up those same shots that he was passing up in his first and second games with the Nuggets. And down all these guys, they need him to shoot those.
I honestly didn't feel like I'll have to go back and rewatch.
There's like
which
one or two tonight. It was like 1 or 2.
I didn't feel like. I mean, look, the Lakers did a great job of staying into all of the defenders, all of the shooters for Denver. All of them, the couple of them that there are. I mean, Denver has like 3 shooters, and Austin Rivers is one of those shooters, even though he's like 5 for 30 as a Nugget. But it's just tough, man. This is a tough game. This is a tough game. The Lakers will be tough, and I think we'll take a break here. Actually, we have one more super chat, Kale.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a fun one. Are you reading it?
Super chat donation to get Ariana to perform an exorcism on the injury bug lurking on the Nuggets. Do it soon.
I don't think she does.
Exorcisms.
It's a little aggressive.
I like that all mysticism.
That's more like a priest.
I wouldn't even be on that show. I don't understand what type.
We would definitely have to do
She's
that show, and if there was a buffer period in the schedule, like no games for a couple of days.
Ariana's a good witch, you guys.
She's the best witch,
she's the
first
best
off.
witch. Like, we
That'd be
can't ask
weird.
her to, I don't know if we can get that done. Although, you know what? Hit her up on Twitter. She's great. She's actually been hilarious lately. Let's take a break. On the other side, we are going to get Brendan Vogt reporting live from the Denver Nuggets locker room. I can't wait to see. Actually, he'll probably be right here, and he'll share those stories with us. But before we get to that segment, I want to get to, are the Lakers a bad matchup? Even in this hobbled state that they're in, hobbled state the Nuggets are in as well, are they a bad matchup? We'll talk about that in the final segment.
Another great tease.
Man,
I'm curious to find out.
teasing everybody today. Teasing.
A lot of us here at DNVR, we go to Green Mountain Dental Group. Some of us have gotten our wisdom teeth pulled, gotten cavities filled, whatever type of dental work you need, they're your guys. Check them out today. You will get a free Sonicare toothbrush when you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam at Green Mountain Dental Group, located 15 minutes from downtown Denver. They're great people. They care about you as a customer. They're always checking up on you after your visit. So check them out today. Get a free Sonicare toothbrush, top line electric toothbrush when you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam. Also, DNVR listeners, you guys can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code DNVR at Manscaped Manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Use the code DNVR. Get 20% off. Also get free shipping. I've got to recommend that perfect package or a performance package. You get that travel bag, most underrated thing at Manscaped. I just used it this last weekend.
Very versatile.
Yeah, very versatile. Take it on trips with you. Keeps your stuff clean. Keeps your stuff water resistant. It's great. It's great. It's a $39 value. $39 value.
I can't even believe that. The bag alone?
The travel bag, $39 value.
I'd pay at least $39.99 for that.
Yeah.
Net minimum.
You get that with the perfect package or performance package. Use the code DNVR at manscaped.com. Get 20% off plus free shipping. And also, if you're listening to this show, you're probably paying too much for your car insurance, for your home insurance, potentially.
Not because you listen to the show, but just because you're like most people.
Right. Maybe you're tuning in for the first time. I'm sure there are people listening or watching this show that are now saving a lot because of Gabby. Gabby.com/DNVR. It stands for Get a Better Insurance. Get a better insurance with Gabby. What you do is go to Gabby.com/DNVR. You plug in all your current insurance info, and they run your numbers against 40 of the top insurance providers. They tell you where it can save money. It's awesome. D-Line's saving a lot of money. A lot of us here at DNVR are saving a lot of money.
You know, you save a bunch of money, and then you know what you do? You buy one of those Manscaped travel bags.
Yeah, get the travel bag.
I guarantee you'll save at least $40.
Yeah, you'll save $39. So get the travel bag. Gabby customers actually save $961 per year on average.
I just did the math. That's like 100 travel.
A lot of travel bags. Yeah, a lot of perfect packages for Manscaped. They'll also never sell your info, so no annoying spam or robocalls. Put your policy to the test like we did. Get a better insurance with Gabby. Totally free, no obligation. Go to Gabby.com/DNVR. Gabby.com/DNVR.
I see somebody in the chat give me an idea.
Uh-oh. Who was it first?
Sign Manu. Give him a 10-day.
Oh,
Sign
Manu and Facu?
Manu and Facu.
Dude,
you know what?
Argentina?
Let's just lean all the way in. Let's just do it. Come on.
Holy smokes.
Can we sign Nikola Jokic?
Look, Manu. I know Manu has been out the league now for a little bit. He's probably, but Manu's like one of those dudes that is going to be in great. You saw Michael Vick and he ran the 40. And Manu's going to be like that, where he just is going to look lean and in shape.
I'm sure he's watching.
There's going to be fist fights every single game. Didn't Verjao just get picked up by someone?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was real or
No,
fake.
really. I thought that something weird would happen there, too.
All right, before Brendan joins us with the lowdown on the from the post game, I got to ask the tough question, guys. I don't want to ask this one, but I have to ask it. Eric,
what?
Are the Lakers a bad matchup for the Nuggets?
Oh,
You just had an exorcism, man.
They've certainly proven to be. I mean, it's hard to say otherwise. Like Jokic seems to have a hard time because he's fighting more physically in the post, and he's working much harder for the points. He's still. I mean, they're not shutting Jokic down, but they're making his life a lot harder. Somehow Kyle Kuzma and MPJ. I'm getting boils while saying this sentence, but like Kyle Kuzma is giving MPJ problems. I mean, obviously it was tonight was a game. It was just basically a one basket situation. Like this really could have gone either way, but I think that the gap is closed, but we don't have LeBron. We don't have Dennis Schroeder. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I mean, it's not a great matchup for the Nuggets. I'll say that.
What do you think, Dev?
I think that the Lakers are just fit to counter everything that the Nuggets have. They have the Nuggets are centered around their big man, and they also have a very talented big man that's like really good defensively, but also can score and take over games as well. But then they're willing to slow it down with you, and I think that that's where the Nuggets catch a lot of guys, our teams off guard, is because they're not a team that's going to go out there and score a lot of baskets or even want to. And the Lakers are okay with that. They're like, we're not going to push the tempo. We're not going to force you out of any. That's actually what we want to do. And I think that when they do the exact same thing, they're like, well, I don't know what to do now. And then also that second unit, I think it's just 2 second units that just don't make sense. The Lakers' second unit doesn't make sense. The Nuggets' second unit doesn't make sense. Like, there's not scoring going on. There's not anything. It's just kind of just wasting time until the starters or the guys come back. I just think that the Lakers, and then they're just battle tested. They know how, it seems like when there's big punches that teams hit them with, they know how to respond to those type of moments. No matter who's out there on the floor, every game is a big game for them. While the Nuggets have to get up for nationally televised games. So yes.
Yeah, I think they're a tough matchup, and the teams that the Nuggets are going to run into the most trouble with in the playoffs are really well-coached teams that can put together really good defensive game plans.
Yeah.
And the Lakers are going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Frank Vogel's a good coach. They've got really good defensive personnel. They've played defense the whole regular season. They're the best defense in the league. They came in with a really good game plan, I thought, tonight, and executed it and bothered Denver and took them out of their rhythm for really the first 3 quarters, it felt like. So, yes, the Lakers are a problem for Denver.
I think, the Lakers are just so good defensively, and I think Denver, if you even think back to last season, I think Jamal Murray ran out of gas in that series because he obviously was great, and he struggled in that one. But I think that Denver couldn't score last year. Yeah. Their defense was actually very good. Game 1, Jokic gets in foul trouble. Game 5, same thing. Like there were things that happened at the beginning and end of that series, but the middle few games, Denver wins one, should have won one. AD has that great shot. Those were defensive slugfests that Denver did a good job of containing a fully healthy AD and LeBron at the peak of their powers. They did a good job against it. They just couldn't score, keep up scoring. And I think the addition of Michael Porter Jr. and sort of the addition even of JaMychal Green and some of the moves around the periphery, you think, okay, they should be a little bit better offensively, but now those pieces are gone, and it's like now Denver's back to being a defensive team. So to me, the Clippers, offensive team, Denver did a good job of stopping them. Dallas, I think Denver will do a good job of stopping them. Yep. But if you go up against the defense and becomes defense on defense, I think that's tough. So because Denver just not going to score.
Like last year, we were thinking about, man, what would a healthy Will Barton do in this series? Right. Like he would have been a great third outlet for Jokic and Murray before Porter had really ascended. Now it's like, what would a healthy Will Barton do? What would a healthy Monte Morris do? What would a healthy
Will Barton's like a top option now?
Yeah. This is like so. I mean, this season is just setting up for us to have a lifetime of questions. What if this hadn't happened? What if this hadn't happened?
I hope
what
not,
if this
man.
hadn't
That's
happened?
Going down a dark path.
I mean, it's just whatever. I don't know. It just is. Even if somehow we achieve the highest possible achievement, it's still going to be like, what would this have looked like with Jamal?
Well, I'll tell you what, and Jokic, I think I'm curious to hear what he had to say about this game because I do think that he could have been better in this one. As great as it was, and look, it's unfair. He had 32, 9, and 5. He was, probably the best player on the court, even with AD having one of his better games, of recent. So, but the burden is just so high. If they're going to guard you like that on the perimeter and push out, you got to go for 40. You got to go for 45. And I think tonight was a night he almost did. He could have. You look at the 3-point shooting, he goes 1 of 4. And you scroll down, Marc Gasol had a really hot night. He goes 3 of 4. So, it's just those are the margins. And I think Jokic can win those in a playoff series, but he's going to have to do it at the best level he's capable of.
Michael Malone had a quote a couple games ago where he was like, Nikola's got to play great for us. Michael Porter's got to be great. Yeah. Like, there is such a slim margin for error right now. And, like, tonight you saw Michael Porter, not great. Denver looked like they were going to lose this game by double digits until he kind of came alive in the fourth. So they need really, really good games from everyone. And, look, the Lakers were without LeBron tonight, but they're still a really good defense.
Oh, man.
All right.
It's tough for these guys to score right now.
All right, you guys want some positivity?
Yes.
2 things.
Please.
The Denver Nuggets just clinched a playoff spot.
Yes.
We're not going to the play-in. We're not going to the play-in.
Let's go.
The play-in is out.
Anyway?
The losers.
Who goes to the play-in?
Go to the play-in.
Dude.
Definitely not teams.
Hoopst amongst us.
Hoopst amongst us. But here's another thing. Another little piece of positivity. If the playoffs started today, and they do not, the Nuggets would match up with the Mavericks in the 6-3. And guess what? The Clippers and Lakers would match up in the 4-5.
Dude, I need this in my life. How do we make this happen?
A Clippers-Lakers first round would just be...
it'd be incredible. It'd be incredible.
Everybody wanted it so bad last year. Just give it to them right away. They had to wait so long. Let's just not make
why
it
the battle for LA? Just get it over with.
The battle for LA right off the top. You know what? It would be too good. It would be too good. So there's a little positivity.
I feel great.
A Nuggets Mavs series. I like the sounds of that.
Hey,
I really do.
Honestly, Nuggets Mavericks and then a chance to play against Phoenix. That's 2 great outcomes.
Can't ask for anything better than that.
They're both going to be tough, but
holy smokes.
But I kind of like it. Are you enjoying this, Harrison? This constant watch, like the standings right now versus 24 hours from now. No idea. Could be completely different. Every day it's going to be this.
Well,
way.
That's why everybody's coming at me on Twitter all day, like, "Oh, do Nuggets want to lose this one? Do they want to like send the Lakers down? Like, do they want to put the Lakers against the Clippers in the 4-5? It's like, I still feel like it's too early for that stuff because stuff is going to shift. Stuff is going to change. The priority would have been to win and, yes, push the Lakers down to the play-in, but there's still some games left. Anything can happen. I do have confidence that the Nuggets, who are the best playoff seed manipulators of all time, if there's a chance, they'll get the matchup they want if it's on the table.
Oh, there's a chance, and they will do that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
lock it down.
Lock it in.
I hear Jokic and Brendan Vogt speaking right now. They'll be done
one-on-one.
One-on-one. Sounds like an
a
exclusive.
personal phone call?
No, but Jokic is giving his presser, and of course Brendan Vogt is there handling that. He'll be here in just a second. But to bounce around real quick, former Nugget R.J. Hampton tonight had himself a little bit of a game. 16 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks.
Wow.
That's a near triple-double for the Rook. I got to say, warms my heart. Do you feel the same way, Dev? Are you watching R.J. Hampton out of the corner of your eye, just being like rooting for him?
Yeah, just because like there's no like spurning at all. Like how he left was on good terms.
Loved, and he had
Like,
such good things
and
to say.
and he loved the Nuggets organization. He respects the guys still. You could tell he still wants to be a Nugget. Of course, you root for like a guy like that. It's just like all positive vibes with him still.
You know how you have a coaching tree? There's RJ is part of the Denver Nuggets
Drafting tree?
prospect tree.
Yeah.
He's part of the prospect tree. So I'm out there rooting for him. And it helps that he's in the East. If he was in Portland
I
or
know.
something,
Oh,
it'd be
yeah,
like,
It feels good, but like it feels like we could have used him tonight.
well, lo and behold, who knew we were going to lose every guard?
We
We're like,
should've
we have so
known.
many guards. We'll trade
were-
a couple away.
We were so arrogant. Look back. Even Tim Connolly fell into it. He didn't realize like why he wasn't looking ahead, knowing he needed 15 to 17 guards on this team.
At least he was prepared. He knew he was going to need a lot of guards this
Well,
year.
but he didn't prepare enough. He needed at least 6 or 8 more guards.
The Nuggets just should. The Nuggets just should always never trade a player to a Western Conference team again.
I
Just
like that.
always to the East.
always
that.
to the East, yeah, and definitely not in conference or in division.
Yeah,
It's always been
they
in
do love to
division.
do that. They love to do that. Yeah. But RJ Hampton in Orlando, Arturas in Chicago. That wasn't a trade, obviously, but you know what I'm saying. I'm at peace with that. I'm at peace with kind of feeling good for Chicago and Orlando.
As we kill a little bit more time here, can I air some grievances?
Oh boy!
Please.
Wait.
Can I play a little? Why is nobody talking about this?
Yes. Is it your haircut again?
It's not my haircut. I will get a haircut this week, though. It's getting long. It is getting long. Oklahoma City Thunder are losing in comical fashion.
In comedic fashion.
Comedic fashion.
Comedic
Damn it, there it
fashion.
is. They're losing in comedic
Comical.
fashion. Do you guys remember the Trust the Process 76ers just
Oh, yeah.
blatantly tanking so
Getting
bad that the
beat to
NBA had?
sleep every night.
This team is worse. This team is somehow worse when they don't play Shea and Lou Dort, which they haven't been, too much lately. It's the most egregious tanking I've ever seen in my life.
And on top of that, they showed you a while ago that they were going to do it. They stopped playing all of their vets like a long
Where is
time
Al
ago.
Horford?
He's at home.
Where
He's
is
not
Al
even with the
Horford?
team.
He's a prisoner over there. Like
a
he's
prisoner.
still over there.
Probably
just
actually
sitting.
like in Florida or something,
I
just
know.
chilling.
Yeah.
Free Al.
They told you
We-
like,
we
hey,
could
we're
use
not
him.
going to do anything. We're not going to try to win games. And guess what? They're not getting close to winning games. They're getting beat to sleep every night.
It's funny that we have the Adonde tweet where he's like, "Oh, it'd be the worst thing for the league if the Lakers and Celtics don't make it." Meanwhile, you have a team losing by 70, and everyone's just like, "It's fine, it's fine."
But-
And they have 40 picks over the next 3 drafts.
Yeah, but Poku's really fun to watch and talk about on Twitter, so it's okay.
I'm just wondering what people
this
are
is,
talking
this
about
is,
this.
This is the legacy of one Kevin Durant. He got
This is
them to
all
the-
Kevin Durant's
got them to
fault.
the mountaintop, left them high and dry. Russell West. Then they have like a comedic pairing of Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul, and like all these things that just make absolutely no sense. And then they're just like, all right, fine, we're just going to get every draft pick available. What are we supposed to do? We just have to lose.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, what's the point of having all these draft picks if they're high up?
It is honestly, it is like Hinkie on steroids, and just nobody ties. It's funny how much of a story it was when Hinkie was tanking and he's got 4 top draft picks in 4 years. And meanwhile, this Oklahoma City team has every top draft
Right.
pick for 6 years, and everyone's just like, whatever.
I've got to think.
Funny how much
it,
things have changed,
Yeah.
It reminds me of LeBron going to Miami. Everybody's up in arms. And then Harden, Kyrie, and KD all go to the same place. And
They're
everyone's
like,
that's
it's pretty good plan.
yeah, pretty good plan.
But Hinkie gets to Philly, immediately just starts tanking. Like, that's what he's known for out of the get-go. Like, that's the corner he's painted into from the first day on the job. Sam Presti has built what should have been dynasties before.
Yes,
He's done it all. So I wonder if he gets more leeway because of that.
Here's another question for you. So the Nuggets, I mean, let's forget the 3-4 battle right now because I don't know that it necessarily matters. What matters is who they play, and we don't know if 3 or 4 is better. But if you look at the Lakers now are 6 games back. There's only 9 games to go or 8 games. Almost certain that they're not going to fall. So in a certain sense, win, loss almost doesn't matter. For the Nuggets, they probably need to win 1 or 2 more, which they're almost certainly going to do, and then it won't matter to fall below that. How does that make you now approach this New York Knicks game? Like, does this feel like an important game to you, or do you feel like it's just like whatever, just go out there and learn some things?
I'm saying you got to win every game that you can so that you can gerrymander the league. So you want to have the best possible hand that you can play.
I think it's important because you don't want to risk going into like a tailspin to end the season.
Yeah,
because the vibes are a little down right now.
After 1 loss.
Yeah, but it was one of those losses where you're like
demoralizing.
Yeah,
this was demoralizing. The opponent and the fashion.
Can I come in with a take right off the bat?
Right off the bat, off the top rope.
Look, this one's more demoralizing for fans.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Than the team.
So strong agree with this.
Totally.
Fans hate the Lakers.
Yeah, the Nuggets are going to be a top 4 seed. They're going to be a top 4 seed. They're going to have home court advantage in the first round. It's incredible that they've managed to withstand all these injuries and lock in that top 4 seed. It's a loss.
Yeah.
I thought we'd have more of these, but we haven't. Yeah. It's 1 loss.
All right, vote. How did it go there?
Not bad, guys. Not bad. Let's just get into it because I know it took a while.
It always does now.
Michael Malone on Campazzo's late game offensive foul. I definitely considered challenging it, but that's where I trust my coaches who are watching the replay behind the bench. They felt it wouldn't be overturned.
It wouldn't have. I'm telling you right now, it would not have been overturned.
And also, I'm sure you guys
don't tell Argentina.
I'm sure you guys have hit this, but they had a timeout left, and that very easily could have been consequential.
Yeah.
I think it's more important to hang on to that timeout.
I agree.
On the late run, quote, I was happy to see us kind of start playing with some urgency to give ourselves a chance, but I just didn't understand why it took so long. I thought we played hard all night, but it was an uncharacteristic game.
Yeah,
and I know that sounds like a weird sort of splitting of hairs. They played hard, but they didn't play with urgency. But I feel like somehow he's right on that. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like it took a little while for Jokic to kind of hit like this sort of MVP mindset and Porter to sort of hit that mindset.
Who is this game more important for, the Lakers or Nuggets tonight?
Well, the Lakers. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and it looked like it, and that's what I think he's kind of hinting on is
We're back.
Yeah, exactly. Like that you could feel that this meant something to them. Where with Denver, it was like sucks to lose the Lakers.
A quick aside, if I can take you behind the curtain a little bit. Dev gave his seat to Brendan. He's not hanging out off set. He just went home.
He had somewhere.
Didn't even say goodbye. He just left.
Dev is like Jokic. You can't speed him up or slow him down. He's
plays at his own pace.
We'll move on. Malone called Marc Gasol a difference maker tonight. Might have said the difference maker, but I'd have to listen back. Michael Malone. Yeah, I didn't like how he played most of the night. Too little, too late. Malone on PJ Dozier. No official update. He is in decent spirits. Quote, I don't know if this team is cursed. We've got to bring in some kind of high priest.
Okay, so we actually talked about this on the
maybe
show.
we do need to bring in Ariana.
Ariana, like, they're in L.A. That's where she lives.
Wow.
By the way, Malone said groin. The team is saying hip. So it's hip. Take that what you will.
So we should know by now, but one adductor or abductor, right?
It's just, just guess
it.
It
Hip
starts with an A and it ends with an R, probably.
By the way, we're gonna have a doctor on the show for pregame on Wednesday, so we have a new. We didn't even when we planned him, we didn't even know we would have a new injury.
He's got a lot to talk about.
So
there's been plenty of doctors on the show. Dr. Wind, Dr. Hades, I've seen all of them.
In the first half, guys, Porter didn't get a lot of shots up. I thought Denver was trying to, though, and LA did a great job of sort of blowing up those dribble handoffs, those cuts. So Malone talked about that. He said they're game planning for him, and that's great experience for Porter because that's going to be his life in the playoffs. So
I agree.
Yeah,
especially with this team where it's at.
I 100% agree about that with MPJ, but it's good for him. I'll tell you what, I think he's built for it. It might be a learning curve, but he's ready for it.
Some quick ones from JaVale McGee. He said he was locked in on the task at hand, wasn't worried about the ring. And he said on a championship team, there has to be a next man up mentality. Everybody has to have that next man up mentality from stars to role players. And you have to be ready for that time. When they're not playing, they have to do their work. That moment might never come, but you got to be ready.
Dude, how do we live in a world where JaVale McGee is dispensing wisdom?
He's got 3 rings.
I know.
And he was asked, no, I know, man. Trust me. I'm
I
with
don't
you.
know. It makes no sense.
I'm segueing here. He was asked about that 3rd ring and if it feels any different to him. And he said yes, because, quote, through the whole season, I was the starting center on an NBA championship team. And I just feel like that title adds some value to the ring. And then he joked.
But then he wasn't a starter.
He joked the ring feels a pound or 2 heavier. So, yeah. I'm sure everyone wants to hear about McGee's Lakers ring. Nikola Jokic on the Facu call. All right, so Jokic on Facu, quote, we had a chance. I don't think it was a big deal just to play. I think the main problem is we didn't shoot well, me first.
Yeah.
They did a good job, but I kind of think I missed a couple of layups.
Yeah.
He did.
Of course, he
I love
highlighted
you, Jokic.
the missed rebound
best.
and subsequent layup from THT. But yeah, look, Jokic took full responsibility. That's what he does. So no excuses from Jokic tonight.
The best.
On Dozier, I couldn't believe it. I had a good angle. It didn't look like something. I said before that the team that stays most healthy during the regular season and playoffs is probably going to win it all. That is certainly
Definitely has not been the
What a bummer! What a bummer thing to say to us.
I guess the Phoenix Suns are going to win the championship. This is wild.
Oh my
Wow.
god!
but some more. But hey,
might.
Sure.
War of attrition.
some hope instilling quotes here to finish it up. The luck or something is not on our side, but we've got to fight. It's not going to be easy, but why not?
Who said this?
Jokic,
Nikola
baby.
Jokic, baby.
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, this is look. It's
Enoch.
just the most frustrating. Like the lose to the Lakers little brother thing. Like, it's brutal, but this is a win thing. You just got to back it up to the big picture here.
I know.
The Nuggets have won a lot of these games. They've put themselves in position to maybe be a threat to someone in the first round. By the way, Jokic was asked about playing the Lakers in the first round. In classic Jokic fashion, he said, I just don't think it's that big of a deal. If you want to win it all, you got to go through the best teams. So if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it, fellas. That's it. I will say the quotes don't sound great on paper. Malone seemed fine. Jokic seemed unbothered. I think I'm ready to get back to work
that's the right
and
tone.
rectify it. Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm talking to George Karl tomorrow, guys. Keeping it 1,000. Going to be out by mid-afternoon tomorrow. Actually, no, that's not true. We're live tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So everybody watch. I should have said this. Damn it, I always forget to tell these. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, we're going to be live with George Karl right here on this feed. So you might want to send in some questions. We'll have a really good time talking to him. But one of the things that he's told me that that always sticks with me is he says, it never feels as good or as bad when you're an actual part of the team as it does to the fan. Like if you're watching on the outside, everything feels more extreme. And that's why I think like we're all like, oh.
It's the number one thing when you get to go in the locker room covering a team, in my opinion, that you're able to glean. Like, so you walk in, you go off from your Twitter feed, and you walk in and you just see a bunch of professionals that are ready to turn the page.
Especially when you used to talk to Gary Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's
Win by 30, lose by 30. Yeah.
Jeremy Grant, same
but
way.
when you are in actual control
Right.
of what's happening, you're like, I can do better. But here we're just like, oh, please. Like all we can do is just sit back and watch and pray.
And it's not against my wife, but when she's driving down Eisenhower down the pass, I feel like we're gonna crash all the time. Then when I'm driving, I'm like, I got control,
like,
and I can feel it.
like-
But I'm sitting in the passenger
Making
seat,
things
she's
more
going 80
interesting.
miles per hour, and I'm just like, are you sure you're in control? It's
so
this is
true.
how it feels, right?
It's exactly how it feels. We're just in the back seat. We're just hoping they're driving us the right way.
But you know what? Jokic never crashes.
Does not crash.
He always delivers us safely to our destination. A little bit further each time. Hopefully tonight continues.
It may have hit a curb on that rebound tonight.
We didn't take king of the game. It was Jokic.
There it is, Jokic.
there's
The
Jokic.
King of the game.
I do have one thing I want to say, and this is no knock on some of the people that I love in national media, but have you noticed a trend? This was especially true of Richard Jefferson the other night. There's only like 3 things people know what to say about Jokic.
God
One,
damn it.
the MVP conversation. Is it him? He's played the most games. That's the only reason.
I know. It's like, that's the. That is my favorite thing when it gets whittled down to like, that's why he's been. It's like,
Embiid's been dominant. James
not
Harden's
saying
been
that's
great,
the-
but look, Jokic just has played a lot.
Yeah, they're not saying he's the MVP because he's played every game. They're saying if you're looking for a way to find a difference between them, you could look at the fact that Jokic has played 20 more games. So that's more room for Embiid to fail.
The other thing they say is that he's a great passer, one of the best bigs in the passers of all time. And then the other thing they say is, he used to be fat.
Yeah.
Like the 3 stories people know how to
Did you
tell.
know
about
he used
Jokic.
to drink a liter of Coke?
He used to drink a little Coke.
A liter of cola, huh?
He was
I
really
found
fat
that
back
out
in the day.
today,
Man,
actually.
whatever, dude. I love it. It's more for us. And he's, at this point, the real question is he going to be the unanimous MVP or not? Probably not, because Windhorse is sour. Does he have a vote? Probably, yeah. Hope not. But yeah, like, that's the only question that really matters. Screw it. I feed off this.
Yeah, let's
This
go.
This is ours.
Let's go. Small market vote is here, baby.
That's right.
It is here. Big market vote is gone.
That famous small market vote.
He's been bust down to our level, dude. How's it feel down here? Like, I don't get too sticky.
I'm not going to... Look, sometimes they play the Lakers. It doesn't feel great.
No, it never feels great. Come on.
All right, guys. Everybody that hung with us this late on a Monday night, we appreciate you. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow, George Carl live, 1 o'clock. Probably should get a graphic out about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Came
probably.
together kind of late. Everybody, we'll see you tomorrow. Adios.
Let's go.